Hi, hello, and welcome in our video. In this video, we will be talking about module and base artifacts. We will define what is module artifact, we will define what is base artifact, what are similarities, and also what are differences between them, and what are potential problems. Alright, so without any further ado, let's jump directly to the explanation. What is module artifact? Module artifact is any artifact inside a module. When we have artifact in a module, we call it module artifact. Base artifact is an artifact that can be created and managed independently from a module and can be shared in multiple contexts, therefore, for example, in multiple modules. Every base artifact is stored in its respective base artifact folder. You see, for example, this one, and this contains a unstructured set of all created artifacts. So this specific artifact, for example, is base artifact. Any of those artifacts are base artifacts. They are in a folder that contains all base artifacts specific to this module, and they are unstructured without any hierarchy. But every of those artifacts are also in this module, but here we are talking about module artifacts, and here we are talking about base artifacts. All right, but you are talking about that those are base artifacts and they should be different from those module artifacts because you are trying to tell us about differences. But at the same time, you are telling us that those artifacts are here in the module. Yes, every module artifact has its corresponding base artifact, but not every base artifact must have its corresponding module artifact. You can create base artifact, for example, here in training project, we can create for information. I don't need anything else. And right now I created base artifact, but this base artifact is in no folder so far. So this base artifact don't have any module artifact equivalent. But I can go to this module and I will create another artifact. It will be again information. All right, information 2. This is module artifact. But right now, if I will go here, I will refresh and navigate to base artifact folder for system requirement specification. You see, automatically I created base artifact. So once again, every module artifact has its corresponding base artifact, but not every base artifact must have its corresponding module artifact. If I am working with this artifact inside a module, I am working with module artifact. If I am working with this artifact outside a module, then I am working with base artifact. Another information I already mentioned, but I will mention it again, is that you cannot reuse module artifacts. You are always reusing base artifact. So if I will navigate to any other module, for example, stakeholder requirement specification, and here, if I will add existing artifact, and I will use this information number 2, so requirements, system requirement specification, and information number 2, add and close, then I reused this base artifact, not module artifact. I don't have opportunity to do that. I used base artifact. So base artifacts are here, so we can reuse them in another context, in another modules. Base artifacts and module artifacts share almost all of their content, such as attributes, titles, and text. Anytime change is made to one of the artifacts, this change is automatically propagated to the second artifact. So if I will navigate here in a module and I will click on change in a module, all right, I will go here and refresh, and you see information 2, change in the module. If I will go here and I will edit this artifact, save and done, and I will refresh this module, you see the change was propagated. And as I mentioned, it's not just about change in the content, but also in the artifact attributes. So if I will go here and, for example, if I would like to change something in this artifact, I will edit and I will change its priority to medium, clarity to medium, iteration to some iteration, and need to luxury. Okay, I will jump out and roll back. Perfect. And if I will navigate to base artifact, then here you see clarity, priority, need. Everything was propagated from the module artifact to the base artifact. Also, I can go once again and change iteration to iteration 6, for example. It's okay, just one change. Again, refresh in module. And you see iteration 6, 2024. Perfect, right? So those changes are propagated. So far, so good. Also, remember, we have this artifact not just in stakeholder requirement specification, but also in systems requirement specification. So I will navigate to this system requirement specification. And here, this artifact was changed also here because this is information shared from module artifact to base artifact and again to another module artifacts because this artifact is used in another modules in another context and all changes between all of those modules are propagated. Excellent. So you see, we are now in a different module, but all of those changes, all those information were propagated, also those values, clarity, priority, need, iteration. Everything was propagated. Great. But not everything is propagated. Everything I showed, yes, but there are some values that are not propagated and can create big problems. To demonstrate the potential problem, let's create some links. So I will click on this information and I will create some super important link. And if you know anything about links, then you know that links are extremely important. For example, I would like to link to some other module. I would like to link to subsystem requirement specification. And for example, here, okay, and I will create one more, for example, parent of, and the last one. Perfect. So we have three links here. And again, links are super important, maybe even that important as requirements themselves, because traceability is one of the most important things you have in requirements management or in the whole project lifecycle. So we have links in systems requirement specification and in this specific artifact. I can also have some specific comments. So I can create super duper very important comment. All right. So you see, super duper very important comment with project changing information. So there can be anything really. You need to know that comments, links, and also tags are context specific, or let's say module specific. So they can have information value in this module, but they are not propagated to another modules. So I am in system requirement specification module. If I will jump to stakeholder requirement specification module, then you see there are no links, there are no comments. Also, if I will refresh this base artifact, you see no comments, no links. So from this module, links, comments, and tags are not propagated to the base artifact, and therefore they are not propagated to any other artifact in any other modules. All right, so it's making sense. So what is the problem? And I agree, it makes sense, but the problem is that you can work with base artifacts, for example, in collections or in another features. But as soon as you are creating collection, for example, for review, you need to review some of requirements. Then you are creating collection only from base artifacts. Unfortunately, you don't have opportunity to select anything else but base artifacts. But one of the most important parts of any artifact review or any requirements review is also checking links. And of course, comments are super important because you saw there was some life-changing or project-changing information in that comment that needs to be taken into account. So if you are using features that can work only with base artifact and nothing else, then you really need to know that in those artifacts you don't have links and you don't have comments. And those links are probably the most important for me. The problem is not so much that comments, links, and tags are not propagated to the base artifacts. The problem is that many users don't know about that. So many users can work with base artifacts unaware that links are not propagated, that comments are not propagated, and that they need to go to the module to see this traceability information and to see comments. Let me show another potential problem. So I have this base artifact here, and I have module artifacts in two separate modules. And this specific module artifact has those links, very, very important links, and also super duper very important comment. And I am some newbie, and I am going here, remove artifact, and remove. Maybe I did something I am not aware of, or maybe I deleted many artifacts and all of those artifacts were for deletion, but not this one. So what may I do? I know that I only deleted module artifact, not base artifact. And I wouldn't be able to delete base artifact because this base artifact was also used somewhere else. So you see, I navigated back and this artifact is still here, but right now it is used just in stakeholder requirement specification because I deleted it in systems requirement specification. So I am a newbie and I panic. What should I do? Oh yeah, okay, there is still base artifact there, so I will navigate, create, add existing artifact. I will find it, no problem. So I will search for artifact 53697. Yeah, okay, all right, this is it, add and close. Perfect, I am saved. Yeah, but you see, this artifact don't have any information about life-changing comment or project-changing comments and no information about super important links. So, although I, let's say, recovered this artifact, I didn't recover all of important information that was super important for this module or super important for entire project. So this is another problem. You really need to be aware that not all information is shared from module artifact to the base artifact. But all information is shared from base artifact to the module artifact. So if I will navigate to the base artifact and I will create some links, for example, I will use again some subsystem requirements. Perfect. Let's say this one, and I will also create some comment. Excellent. I will refresh it here. It was the last one. Excellent. You see, this comment is here and this link is also here. So this change was propagated from the base artifact to the module artifact. So all changes in base artifacts are propagated to the module artifact and not just to system requirements, but really to all modules. So I refresh that information. You see, comment here, link here. How would you know that this is from base artifact? By this blue little arrow. So as soon as you will see this little blue arrow, you know that this link or this comment is coming from base artifact. The last thing I would like to show you is another potential problem. I am some newbie and I was asked to create a link between this specific artifact, this specific module artifact, to this specific module artifact, not to the base artifact, to the module artifact. So, as a newbie, I went here, I opened this panel, I will create, for example, link to, why not? And I will search for 53697. Perfect, I see this artifact here. Yes, this is exactly the one I would like to create. link to. Perfect. Okay, I created a link. I will refresh everything to be 100% sure. Do I see the link? Yes, I see this link in the stakeholder specification, so I am happy, I am finished. But when I will go here, and if I will click on this information and roll this panel up, you see this link is not coming from a module artifact, but because we see this blue little arrow, this link is coming from base artifact. And if I will refresh this base artifact, yeah, I see this link here. So this is exactly the one. So I created incorrect link because again, maybe I'm unaware that those are two kinds of links, that one is to module artifact and the second is to base artifact. And if I am doing some reporting or traceability, I can screw something up. But this may be not about unawareness. It may be about just simple mistake, because when you are creating a link, then if you are in a folders and you will select just ID, then you are searching for base artifact. You need to go to modules and you need to go, for example, I am in systems requirement specification, then I will go to stakeholder requirement specification. And now if I will select 53697, just now I am creating a link to module artifact. So it's not about unawareness, maybe, it's about just simple user mistake because they didn't saw that difference. And you may say, yes, okay, I understand that those are different kind of links and there are some differences between base and module artifacts, but is it that big problem? Aren't you making this problem bigger than it really is? And I can tell you, no, our customers has a lot of problems with base artifacts, and both because unawareness and also simple user mistakes, and everyone can make this simple mistake that just don't click on folders. So really, trust me, you need to know about differences between base and module artifacts, and you need to be very, very careful. For example, our customer had so many problems with the different links when creating links to base artifact instead of module artifacts, that they proactively don't even mention this link creation option. They mention different kind of link creation options where you are not able to create this kind of mistakes, because remember, you are working with thousands of artifacts in super complex project. So you really cannot make any mistakes. You need to do everything possible to prevent any kind of mistakes. And unfortunately, differences between module and base artifacts are not that user friendly. That's why I created this video. That's why you need to know what are the differences and what are similarities. All right, so I really hope this video was informative for you, and I look forward to see you in our next videos.